Good afternoon, and welcome to today's Quorum Information Technologies webcast as part of the Planet MicroCap Showcase. It is now my pleasure to turn the floor over to your host, Maury Marks, President and CEO of Quorum Information Technologies. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to present the Quorum story. Just as a note, we're using our full Quorum investor deck for today's presentation because we just released our 2020 annual Q4 results last night and completed our investor call this morning. So as a consequence, I'm only going to focus on some key slides and maybe touch on a few others. Let me jump in. So this is our forward-looking disclaimer. And from there, I'm going to go to our About Quorum slide. So let me start by telling you what we do and the problem that we're solving. Quorum provides software and services to automotive retail dealerships, to the same dealerships where you would buy a car or get your car serviced. Now, a dealership's business is complicated because they're a combination of multiple businesses in one. So if you think about it, they need software for their vehicle sales, service, body shop, and parts inventory departments. They also need CRM and digital retailing solutions, plus they need integration to manufacturers like a GM or a Toyota, and then they need accounting across all of those different departments. The result is there's about 25 main categories of software that a dealership utilizes to run their business. So imagine running your business with 25 different software products with limited integration between the products and each with their own reporting tool. So that's the problem. The solution, which we provide, is dealerships need to modernize their business, and Quorum is at the forefront of the modernization effort. We're providing, one, a product suite that meets a dealership's core software needs, that also provides integrated, seamless workflows for all the departments and a single enterprise reporting solution on top. And two, we're providing digital retailing solutions to allow dealership consumers to transact online with the dealership. Now let's move forward, and we'll just talk about some of our key metrics that we, as I mentioned, just presented on our investor call this morning. I want to highlight just a couple of key metrics on this slide. So the first one is currently we have 1,021 dealership customers, with 87% of those customers in Canada. A Quorum software solution is utilized by 28% of the Canadian dealerships and less than 1% of the US dealerships. Our monthly recurring revenue per unit or dealership, called MARPU on this slide, is $1,971. In addition to SaaS revenue from our product suite, we also have Business Development Center or BDC revenue. So think of the BDC like a call center or a contact center. Our BDC helps book service appointments for dealership customers' vehicles. Interesting enough, AutoCanada, which is the largest dealer group in the Canadian marketplace, is one of our key customers of our BDC. So our recurring annual revenue run rate is $32 million, split between $24.2 million of SaaS revenue and $7.8 million for the BDC. Note on here our adjusted EBITDA, which was the highest in Quorum's history for both Q4 and the full 2020 year, was $1.5 million for Q4 and $4.9 million for the entire year. Let me tell you a little bit more about our product suite. So this slide shows a snapshot of our full product suite, which is 11 different products on the left-hand side of the slide. As mentioned, we're providing an integrated suite to meet a dealership's core software needs. Our product suite was grown through innovation and acquisition. So we developed a number of our products, but in the last 4 years, we've completed 3 acquisitions to really help round our product suite out. Critical to every product we sell is that we must deliver ROI to dealerships. So from a sales perspective, this allows us to sell a single product into a dealership and then the dealership experiences increased synergy and value as added products are deployed to their dealership. Let me give you some examples of the ROI that we provide. Our desking and menuing products are increasing dealership gross profits by 15% on every vehicle sold. Our service lane products are driving in an additional $60,000 per month of customer pay revenue into dealership service departments per dealership. Our service CRM products are increasing customer pay revenue by 18% in dealerships. As you can see, we're very serious about driving ROI into stores. One added point that I want to make regarding our product suite is that we just released in Q3 2020 two new digital retailing tools called PowerLane and MyDeal. Our PowerLane product is our mobile service lane inspection tool that allows dealership customers to have a touchless digital service experience. MyDeal is our product that allows a dealership customer to buy a vehicle online. We're excited to have signed a recent agreement with eDealer, the largest supplier of franchised dealership websites in Canada, to sell MyDeal to their customers. In the last month, we've doubled our MyDeal sales, and we now have over 50 dealerships that have signed up for MyDeal. Moving on to talk about Quorum products today and tomorrow. Now, I know this slide has a lot of metrics on it. It represents our full product suite pricing compared to competitors' pricing. Let me just focus on a couple of key points, and I'm largely going to talk about the items in red on this slide. So point number one, our integrated solution costs approximately half the price of the multiple disparate competitors' products that you would need to purchase to run your dealership. Two, the full MARPU from our product suite is $7,000, and this compares to our current MARPU across our 1,021 dealerships of $1,971 per month. As you can see, we have a large cross-selling opportunity. My third point is that Quorum does not have a product in every one of the 25 possible categories that I talked about, and therefore there's a future opportunity to continue to innovate and add more products to our suite or to acquire added products. Now, these next few slides, I'm just going to reiterate on some of the growth opportunities. I'm going to move fairly quickly through these slides and just highlight a couple of key points with each one of them. So in Canada, with regard to our Canadian growth opportunity, as you can see, we have a large TAM. This slide focuses on some of our key products on the right-hand side of the slide. Now, it should be noted that our TAM can be restricted due to a lack of integration to the OEM. So to the manufacturer, like as I mentioned, Toyota or Ford or GM. In the XSellerator DMS case, our TAM is restricted because we don't currently have integration to Honda, Mazda, and a couple of other OEMs in the Canadian marketplace. Now, we're always working with OEMs to solve that restriction, but it takes time. I think a key piece to our Canadian story is that we're a well-recognized brand, and we still have a lot of TAM to grow into. And I want to reiterate that one Quorum product is installed in 28% of all Canadian franchise dealerships, a fact that we're very proud of. Switching over to the U.S. opportunity. So as you can see, the U.S. is a huge growth opportunity for us. We have less than 1% market share. We already have a number of customers in the U.S., and what we're focused on is we're focused on growing in specific geographical areas around our customers, the customers that we already have. So we're taking a very focused approach to growth in the U.S. market. Flipping forward to cross-selling. So let me talk a little bit more about our cross-selling opportunity. Our full product suite, MARPU for our full product suite is $7,000. Now, there are some restrictions on who we can cross-sell our product suite too within our full customer base. So really we look at our available MARPU as being $5,000. Our current MARPU is $1,971, so that calculates out to be a 2.5 times opportunity just from a cross-selling point of view inside of our customer base that we have today. Obviously, this is one of the areas we're absolutely focused on. It's always easier to sell products to a customer that you already have a trust relationship with. Sliding forward into innovation and acquisition growth opportunities, right? So there's two here. This is now us going after more of the customer wallet, as I had mentioned earlier. There's $7,300 of additional customer wallet still available out there. So on the innovation side, we can continue to innovate and bring new products to market like we did with MyDeal and PowerLane in Q3. Our other opportunity is we can acquire additional products like we've done over the last 4 years where we've acquired 3 different companies. All right, I'm going to slide us ahead a couple of slides through this deck, and I want to end on one more slide. Bear with me. And I want to just jump to our historic financial performance metrics and talk to them a little bit. So let me start and talk about the yellow part that's shown in the top left-hand corner under the revenue category. You can see in Q2 we've got a yellow piece in there. What that represents is during the first wave of COVID, at a time when government stay-at-home orders were the most restrictive, our dealerships were struggling. Many of them were laying off 50 to 60% of their staff. Now, we've always considered our customers to be true partners. So we provided a partner-level one-time discount that amounted to $1.8 million over April and May of 2020. And that's what that represents on the graph. Additionally, I want to talk to a metric that's not shown on this particular slide, but I think is really important for everybody to realize. Our Q4 organic growth, SaaS and BDC growth rates were indicated a strong bounce back from COVID during the 2020 year. So in Q4 2020, our SaaS revenue increased 2.1% over Q3 2020, which equates to an 8.4 annualized organic run rate. And similarly, in Q4 2020, our BDC revenue increased 4.7% over Q3, which equates to an 18.8% annualized run rate. Now, we're, as an organization, very focused on increasing our organic revenue run rates. After having stated that, it's good to see decent organic bounce back rates for us in Q4, and we want to build upon that going into the future. A couple more points that I want to make on this slide. Our SaaS gross margins in Q4 bounced back to 66%, which is back to the pre-pandemic or first wave of the pandemic levels that we were at in Q1 of 2020. Our BDC gross margins bounced back, but then they were 9% in Q4, which was below the 11% we achieved in Q1 of 2020. Now, the reason for that is we had a number of costs in Q4 to really allow us to manage future anticipated BDC growth. Keep in mind that we were 18.8% annualized growth Q4 over Q3. Hence, we needed to do a number of things to set ourselves up to manage the future growth, as I mentioned. As a reminder, our adjusted EBITDA was the highest in Quorum's history for both Q4 and the full year 2020 at $1.5 million and $4.9 million, respectively. The last slide that I want to share is this one, just talking about navigating through COVID. And I'm not going to talk to the specific points in this slide, but I'm going to use it as maybe a slide to sort of conclude upon. So a few points, right? Automotive is going through a transformation. I think everybody sees that all the time in all the automotive media out there, or any of the media. Quorum has a product suite and a set of services that are designed for the future of automotive, and we have a lot of exciting growth opportunities as a company. And finally, I want to conclude on the fact that Quorum's current market cap is approximately 3 times our reoccurring revenue run rate of $32 million. So we think we have a lot of growth opportunity from a share point of view as well. Thanks again for the opportunity to tell the Quorum story. I will now open up for questions. So Tesla has my first question that I've got is, Tesla has a sales model avoiding dealerships. There's been a lot of talk of other car companies joining this model. How would Quorum adapt if this model was to become more popular? Yeah, excellent question. So, I mean, from our perspective, what we would be looking to do, actually, let me just back up. At the onset, right, I talked about how Quorum is providing solutions. We're providing solutions to dealerships, but we're also providing solutions to manufacturers. And I didn't talk a whole lot about how we're providing different solutions to manufacturers, but for us, there's a big emphasis on that. And we view really core pieces of our product suite can not only help a dealership out, but also help a manufacturer out. Hence, if we see more car companies joining the model of being able to buy cars direct from the manufacturer, we would place more emphasis in our organization on really providing our solutions through to the OEMs. We think there will be a dealership market for a long period of time out there, but we're ready to adapt to whether we're we're concentrating more on dealerships or we're concentrating more on the OEMs. So excellent question. So I've got a question here on the COVID impact status. I talked about the impact when COVID first hit and the restrictive government rules and really the impact on the dealerships where they were laying off 50 and 60% of their staff. Since that time, though, dealerships have bounced back quite well. Now, each wave of COVID that hits, where there's restrictions in place, dealerships do get restricted a little, especially when it comes to the vehicle sales side of things. Keep in mind the service and parts business in a dealership is always considered a critical business and hence is exempt from a lot of the COVID restricting rules out there. So the service and parts business has continued along through sort of second and third wave, but we do see the dealership sales business getting restricted each time a wave hits. However, after having said that, what that is pushing for the dealerships is this whole move to digital retailing. So products like our MyDeal product are gaining lots of traction in the marketplace because we're allowing a consumer to buy a vehicle online, and that's what dealerships need to help them through sort of the COVID different waves as they're hitting. Our PowerLane product that helps you have a complete touchless service experience with a dealership is another very popular product right now, and COVID is really fueling that. Now, after having said COVID is fueling this move towards digital retailing, we believe that is an absolute long-term trend for the automotive space, and it's part of that transformative change, the transformation that dealerships need to make to be much more adept at digital retailing. All right, excellent questions. Can you speak about the adoption of new add-on products, in particular the potential for MyDeal to see significant adoption across the QIS base? let me talk about MyDeal actually from a couple different perspectives. So not only can we sell MyDeal direct to dealerships that are not currently Quorum customers, but we can also sell MyDeal through our new eDealer partnership, where they're actually selling MyDeal as part of their solution to their customers. And keep in mind, eDealer is the largest provider of franchise dealer websites in the Canadian marketplace. On top of that, we as well can be selling MyDeal to cross-selling it, of course, to our existing customer base. So we have lots of opportunity for growth of MyDeal. And like I mentioned, MyDeal grew, doubled in size in terms of number of sales in the last 30 days. Keeping in mind, we only released the product late in Q3 2020. What are the company's growth drivers moving forward is another question that I have. Excellent question. So growth drivers for us are always capturing new dealerships. So that's one of our drivers, right? So if we continue to capture new dealerships in the Canadian marketplace and the U.S. marketplace, that's a key driver for us. Another one for us is our MARPU calculation, so that monthly reoccurring revenue per unit or per dealership. As we continue to cross-sell and continue to move that metric, that's another driver. The third driver would be OEM integration. As we integrate to new OEMs and really open up our available TAM, that's a third driver for us. Fourth driver would be new partnerships or acquisitions that we complete as well. All right. What is the potential for Quorum to return to more active M&A as you navigate the pandemic? Yeah, so I think we have a fair bit of potential. It's our story really resonates quite well with different companies out there in that your product can become part of our product suite. We have over 1,000 customers. We're going to focus on adding it to our suite and still capturing new customers with it, but also cross-selling across our customer base. So that is a key piece to the story that possible companies find quite attractive. Another focus for us is we continue to add to our digital retailing tools, our MyDeal and our PowerLane tools, as well as our product suite as a whole, but with a large focus on digital retailing. We have roadmaps that lay out the path that we're on from a product point of view, so our product roadmap path. And part of that path includes looking for partners or acquisition opportunities to really help us continue to round out our our product offering on the digital retailing side. So yeah, we're, my point of telling you that is we're going at this from a very focused shotgun perspective, but then also always being aware of any possible companies for sale in the market as a whole, and keeping our ear to the ground, so to speak, to find those opportunities at the same time. All right, with that, it looks like I'm at the end of my time. I think I've answered all of the different questions that have been asked, so I'll pass things back over to the host.
Thank you. This does conclude today's webcast. Thank you for your participation and have a wonderful day.